السلام عليكم يا سنة أولى. عاملين ايه؟ أخباركم ايه؟ بصوا يا جماعة، النهاردة إن شاء الله عندنا أول 3 فصول قصة. أنا عارف إن احنا خدنا الفصل الأول بس الفيديوهات ديت ما كانتش موجودة، فأنا هسيب سيادتك. أنا النهاردة مش هتكلم، مش هقول حاجة. سيادتك النصوص اللي موجودة قدامك دي أو الفيديوهات اللي هتشتغل قدامك دي، ده بالنص اللي موجود عليك في المنهج، فانت تتفرج عليها احسن. فبعد اذن حضرتك انت هتقدر ان انا اللي بشرح مش الشاشه. انت باصص قدامك بعد اذنك كانك في سينما، فانت مش مسموح لك تتكلم. سيادتك ودانك مرميه، عينك بتتفرج وبتقرا الترجمه، عشان الحصه الجايه احنا هنسمعهم وانا مش هقول حاجه. انا هشغل لك الفيديو الاول والثاني والثالث شابتر 1 و 2 و 3، وسيادتك ان شاء الله هتروح عليه. خلاص كده يا جماعه، وحدنا الله. يلا بينا احداث الفصل الاول، مدته 8 دقائق. يلا بينا.
Treasure Island, Chapter 1. I'll start by writing about the time when my father owned an inn called the Admiral Benbow. Quiet place. I'll stay here. Please, take this up to my room, he said, pointing to a large wooden box. Did any sailors visit the inn today? At first, we thought he wanted to find some other sailors, but later we realized that he didn't want any sailors to find him. In the evenings, the captain sometimes told stories about his time at sea. My father... One morning, the captain went for a walk along the beach. Yes, I said. He's gone for a walk. Which way did he walk? He asked. I pointed towards the beach. When the captain saw the man, he looked pale and ill. Black dog. Not see him. The captain walked back into the inn. He looked ill, and suddenly he fell over. I thought perhaps he was hurt from the fight. At that moment, he is not hurt, but he is very ill. Help me to take him upstairs. The captain stayed in bed. Tell me if you see them. That evening, my father died. I felt terrible and forgot all about the strange things that the captain told me. Then, a week later, I saw a blind man coming down the road towards the inn. I walked with the blind man into the inn and took him to the captain. The captain looked very surprised to see him. Now, Bill, stay where you are. I can hear you. Take this. He then put something in the captain's hand, turned round and left. I found my mother and we talked about what we should do. We knew that the captain had a box in his room and it probably had money in it. The blind man and black dog probably wanted this. I thought about taking the box to Dr. Livesey, but I did not want to leave my mother. We knew that we were in danger. We decided to go to the nearest village and ask our neighbours for help guarding the inn. However, none of the people in the village wanted to help us. They did not come back with us. But one man went to tell Dr. Livesey. Another man said that we could have his gun. It was dark when we returned to the inn. We found the key to the box in the captain's jacket. I also saw the message that the blind man gave to the captain. It said, "You have until 10 o'clock tonight." We went upstairs, and my mother soon opened the box with the key. Inside, we found some clothes, some guns, some papers, and other things. We also found a bag with some coins inside. We only have time until 10 o'clock, I said. Let's leave before the blind man and black dog return. I'll only take the money which the captain owes us, my mother said, opening the bag. We stood up to leave, and I decided to take the papers from the box too. We walked as quickly as we could back towards the village, but as we walked, we heard the sound of people in the road behind us. "Take the money and run," said my mother. "I'm too weak to continue." I did not want to leave her, so we stopped under a bridge where we could hide in the dark.
الصور دي متاخده من موقع اسمه ليتل فوكس. هحاول ادور على الباقي ان شاء الله. تانية وتالتة.
Treasure Island, Chapter 2. I could see the road from where we were hiding, and soon I saw 8 men. One of them was the blind man. I saw them walk down the road to the Admiral Benbow Inn. They were surprised to see that the door was open. Then they all ran inside. I heard someone shout, "Bill's dead!" "Go and find his box," said the blind man. A little later, a window opened from the captain's bedroom, and a man called out, "Someone has opened the box." "Is it there?" said the blind man. "Only the money is there," replied the man. "It's the boy and the woman from the inn," shouted the blind man. "Let's find them." The men started to look around the house. "If you find it, you'll all be rich," said the blind man. At this time, we heard horses coming down the road. When the men heard the horses, they started to run in all directions. The horses arrived, so I ran out to see who was riding them. One of them was the boy who went to get Dr. Livesey, and the rest were policemen. 2 men took my mother to the village, where she soon felt better, and the others tried to catch the men. But it was too late. We heard that they escaped on a boat. I returned to the Admiral Benbow with the police. "What did they want?" said Mr. Dance, the head of the police. "I think that they wanted this," I said, showing him the papers that I still had in my jacket. "I'd like to take them to Dr. Livesey." "That's a good idea," said Mr. Dance. "He's a magistrate as well as a doctor. He'll know what to do. I'll come with you." We found that Dr. Livesey was not at home, but was eating at the house of Mr. Trelawney, an important rich man. Mr. Trelawney asked us into his house. I showed Mr. Trelawney and Dr. Livesey the papers that the captain had in his box. "I think this might be a clue as to where Flint buried his treasure," said Dr. Livesey. "That is why those men were not interested in money," agreed Mr. Trelawney. "If you are right, we should take the next boat from Bristol and go and find the treasure ourselves." "If Jim here agrees," said the doctor, looking at me, "we should look at these papers now." The doctor looked at the papers. Some of them seemed to describe the ships that the captain and his men had robbed of money. Then we looked at the other papers and saw a map of an island with a big cross on it next to the words, "Most of treasure here." "Dr. Livesey, we should go to Bristol tomorrow," said Mr. Trelawney. "In a few days we'll find the best ship in England. Jim Hawkins here can come as our ship's boy. You can be the ship's doctor." "I agree," said the doctor. "But those men who tried to find the map will now be looking for us. We are not safe anymore. We must not tell anyone else what we know." It took us longer than we thought to be ready to leave England. While Mr. Trelawney prepared for the journey in Bristol, I stayed at Mr. Trelawney's house with his servant Redruth and spent hours studying the map, thinking about the treasure that we might find. One day, a letter was sent to me from Mr.
Treasure
Trelawney.
Island.
It said that a
6.
good man called
When the
Blandley
boats went to the
had
shore,
a ship called the
I talked to
Hispaniola for
Captain
us.
Smollett and Mr. Trelawney.
Trelawney said
There
that
was
he
no
had found
wind
a
at all.
crew ready to
So
work
we knew
on
we
it.
could not take the
The
ship,
crew included
even
a
if we
man
wanted to
called
attack
Long
the 6
John
men
Silver,
who stayed on the
who
ship
had
with
lost
us.
a leg but was a good cook.
Then we heard that Jim Hawkins was
Silver
on the
also
island
knew
with Silver
other men
and
who
his
would
men.
join us.
We were very
Trelawney
worried
said
about
that
him.
everyone was excited
I
by the
decided to
thought
take
of
a
the
boat
treasure.
to the shore with
I
another
was
man we could
surprised by
trust,
this,
called
as
Hunter.
I thought we had to keep the
When we
news of the
reached the
treasure
island,
a secret.
we walked a little way, and then we found a
I was
small
very
fort.
excited by the thought of the
It was
journey,
big enough for
and
about
I went to say
25
goodbye
people,
to my mother
and was
at
very
the
well
Admiral
defended.
Benbow Inn.
It also had
I was
water.
very sad to
Then
leave her the next
I
day
heard a shout.
when I travelled to
I thought
Bristol
that Jim
with
was
Redruth.
dead.
We had just one night
We
in the
ran
city
back to the boat
before
and
we were
soon
going to
returned
sail.
to the Hispaniola. I told Captain Smollett and Mr. Trelawney my plan. We quickly put food, medicines, and guns in the boat. At the same time, Captain Smollett and Mr. Trelawney said to Silver's men who were still on the ship, "We have guns. If you try to contact Silver, you will be dead." They looked very surprised. I then took the boat back to the beach.
صح كده، ده لما نزل يشتغل. انت فهمتوا الفصل؟
Treasure Island.
Not as bad.
خلصوا الواحدة
Treasure Island. Chapter 3.
The next morning, Mr. Trelawney asked me to take a note to Long John Silver. I went to the inn which Silver owned. It was full of people, but I soon saw a tall, strong man with one leg. He looked very happy and seemed to know all of the people there. I walked up to him and gave him the note. When he saw that it was from Mr. Trelawney, he looked surprised and said, "Ah, you must be the new ship's boy. Then we must catch them both," said Silver. However, the helper returned and said he could not catch Black Dog. "Well, we must return to Mr. Trelawney," said Silver. Then about Black Dog. "There is nothing we can do now," said Mr. Trelawney. "We leave at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Get your hat, Jim. We'll go on the ship now," he said to me. It took some time to reach the Hispaniola. When we walked on to the big ship, the captain, Smollett, did not look happy to see us. "What's the problem?" asked Mr. Trelawney. "I don't like the men on this ship, and I'm not happy about where we're going," he said. "Why not?" asked Dr. Livesey. "I was told that the destination of the journey was a secret," he explained. "But the crew tell me we're looking for treasure. I know that looking for treasure always means danger, and when I go on a journey, I like to be able to choose my own crew. Don't you like the crew we chose? Asked Mr. Trelawney. If I sail with them, I want you to stay at the front of the ship for all the journey, and to keep guns with you. And don't show anyone the map, said Smollett. Why not? Asked Dr. Livesey. It's my job to keep you safe. Mr. Trelawney, I did not like Captain Smollett. The Hispaniola finally left Bristol, and our long journey began. Silver was able to walk around the ship on one leg, using only a crutch. All the men liked him, and he was a good cook, his kitchen always clean. When he wasn't working, he looked after his parrot. He called it Captain Flint, and said it was 200 years old. The parrot could talk too, which always made me laugh. One night, before I went to bed, I decided to eat an apple. The apples were kept in a big barrel, which I climbed inside, because it was nearly empty. Before I left the barrel, I heard a man talking nearby. It was Silver, and what he said was terrible. On that journey, Flint was the captain, he said. It was then that I lost my leg and Pew became blind. After that journey, I put a lot of money in the bank. It was a great journey, and most of the same crew are on this ship today. You won't be able to return to Bristol after this journey, said another sailor called Dick. What will happen to your inn? I've sold it, said Silver. My wife has the money, and is waiting for me to return in a secret place. And after this journey, you'll have lots of money too. Another man joined them and said, I'm tired of waiting. When can we attack Captain Smollett? You must be patient, said Silver. Trelawney has the map, so we wait until they have found the treasure. We might also want Smollett to take us home before we attack. We shouldn't wait that long, replied another sailor. You're like the others, said Silver. You want to do things quickly. That's what Pew and Flint wanted to do. What happened to them? Pew is blind and Flint is dead. I began to realize that Silver was not only a cook, but he was also a pirate, and the other crew were part of his gang. No, we wait, continued Silver. When the time is right, I'll kill Trelawney and his friends. Now, Dick, can you get me an apple? When I heard these words, I was very frightened. However, before Dick came to the barrel, I heard another sailor call out, I can see land! It was this news that saved me, because the sailors now all forgot about apples. We were near the treasure island.
شابتر 3 خلاص. افتح لك كتاب المعاصر وقوم اعمل لمبه كده. القصه افضل بجد والله. وحشه بجد والله. مش قادرين يستغنوا عني. حتى قول لي مس هدير هاتي القلم. طب ما انا عارف، بس خلي بالكوا الفيلم الحقيقي مش نفس التفاصيل. ايه يا حبيبتي هبلت ولا ايه؟ صلوا على النبي. 322 و23 و24 فيهم اسئله. 321 و22 و23. بقول لك ايه، كمل دق بعدين بدل ما ادقك. طب وقت تاني، طيب وقت تاني عشان دماغي صدعت. alright كاتش، كوت، كلو، كوك، كرو، كروس، ديد، دايركشن، سكيب، هيد، انكلود، ايلاند، ماجستريت، ماب، ريتش، روب، سيل، سيكريتس، سيرفنت، ذا ريست، تريجر. شكرا. هنسمعه تشابتر 2 بس، يعني خدنا 2 و3. سيادتك بكل اختصار اسمعوا بس الخلاصه بتاعت التشابتر. الراجل بيقول لك انا قدرت، احنا طبعا واقفين في نهايه الفصل الاول عند ان هم كانوا قاعدين تحت كوبري. بيقول لك انا قدرت اشوف الطريق من الحته اللي احنا مستخبيينها. فجاه شفت 8 رجاله، واحد منهم كان الرجل الاعمى، وشفتهم ماشيين في الطريق اللي ناحيه الادميرال بيمبو. هم كانوا مندهشين ان هم لقوا الباب مفتوح، كلهم جريوا جوه، وانا سمعت حد بيصوت بيقول لك بيلز ديد. تمام كده؟ فبيقول لك جو اند فايند هيز بوكس. الراجل الاعمى قال مش مهم، هاتوا الصندوق. بعد وقت قليل الشباك فتح من الاوضه بتاعت كابتن، وراجل راح جاي منادي someone has opened the box. في حد فتح الصندوق، ده اللي احنا شايفينه النص بالظبط. is it there؟ هل هو هناك؟ فالراجل الاعمى راح جاي قال لك طيب الحاجه موجوده؟ قال له لا، only the money، الفلوس بس هي اللي موجوده. قال لك طب الوليه؟ يبقى الوليه وابنها اللي موجودين بتوع الفندق. تمام كده؟ بيقول لك يلا بينا ندور عليهم. بداوا يبصوا حوالين المنزل. تمام كده؟ فراح جاي الرجل الاعمى قال لهم اللي هيلاقي الخريطه هيبقى غني. تمام كده؟ at this time، في نفس الوقت ده we heard، سمعنا يا مستر شويه خيول جايه من تحت. لما الرجاله يا جماعه اللي سمعناهم جايين بالخيول دولت بداوا يجروا في كل الاتجاهات. اول ما سمعوا ايه بقى؟ الخيول جايه. فبيقول لك بص لي عشان نخلصوا. فبقول لك لما الحصينه وصلت يا مستر انا جريت بره عشان اشوف الولا جيم بيتكلم. انا جريت بره يا جماعه علشان خاطر اشوف مين اللي كان بيسوقهم. واحد منهم كان الولد اللي راح يجيب دكتور ليفسي، والريست والباقي كانوا البوليس. البوليس جه، الحكومه جت، كانك في حرب كرموز. بقول لك في 2 رجاله خدوا للقريه، بدات ان هي تشعر بالتحسن. وفي ناس ثانيه يا مستر حاولوا يمسكوا الرجاله اللي هم القراصنه، بس كانوا متاخرين جدا. احنا سمعناهم سكيبد اون ابوت، كانوا بيهربوا على قارب. انا رجعت للادميرال بيمبو، كان معايا البوليس. فمستر دانس كلمني. مين مستر دانس؟ يبقى ده اول اسم جديد النهارده. مستر دانس دوت يا مستر اللي هو رئيس البوليس. تمام كده يا مستر؟ المهم بقول لك اي ثينك، انا اعتقد they wanted this، ان هم عايزين ده. بالولا جيم راح جاي مطلع له الورق وقال له ايه بقى اللي كان في جيبه. قال له انا هاخدهم واوديهم لدكتور ليفسي. فمستر دانس قال له خلاص مش مهم، وديهم لدكتور ليفسي، لان دكتور ليفسي هيز قولوا ورايا ماجستريت. يعني ماجستريت قاضي، لان الراجل ده قاضي وشغال مع الحكومه. قال له خلاص وديهم، هو كده كده قاضي. از ويل از دكتور، هو دكتور وماجستريت. هو ويل نو، هو هيعرف يعمل ايه. تمام كده؟ قال له اي ويل كام وذ يو. معناها اي ويل كام وذ يو معناها انا هاجي معاك. تمام كده؟ ضابط الشرطه محترم قال له انا هاجي ايه؟ انا هاجي معاك. فبيقول لك وي فاوند ذات دكتور ليفسي وزنت ات هوم، لقينا ان دكتور ليفسي ما كانش في البيت، بس كان بياكل في بيت بتاع واحد اسمه مستر تريلاوني. مستر تريلاوني اللي هو الراجل اللي انتوا لسه شايفينه في الفيديو. فان امبورتنت ريتش مان، في راجل مهم اللي اسمه مستر تريلاوني ده كان راجل غني ومهم. بيقول لك بقى طلب مننا ان احنا نمشي جوه البيت، تمام كده. مستر تريلاوني اسكت اس انتو هيز هاوس، عزمنا قال لنا اتفضلوا جوه البيت. انا وريت مستر تريلاوني ودكتور ليفيس الورق، تمام كده، اللي كابتن كان مخبيه في الصندوق بتاعه، تمام كده. اي ثينك انا اعتقدت ان دوت راح جاي مستر تريلاوني، اسف دكتور ليفيس قال ايه تقريبا ده مفتاح للغز. وير فلينت بيريد ذا تريجر، حيث فلينت ده كان القرصان دفن الايه الكنز. فيقول لك ذاتس واي ذوس مين وير نوت انترستد ان ماني، ده السبب اللي خلى القراصنه مش مهتمين بالفلوس، هم عايزين الكنز مليان فلوس اكتر. بقول لك مستر تريلاوني وافق على الكلام ده. if you are right، لو انت محق we should take the next boat from Bristol، لازم ناخد القارب الثاني من بريستول and go and find the treasure ourselves، ونلاقي الكنز بايه بنفسنا. فبقول لك if Jim here agrees، لو جيم هنا وافق، تمام كده. دكتور ليفسي بيتكلم looking at me وكان بيبص لي، لان طبعا الموضوع كان مع جيم فلازم جيم يوافق. بيقول لك بقى ايه we should look at these papers now، لازم نبص على الورق ده ايه دلوقتي. the doctor looked at the papers، الدكتور بص كده على الورق. some of them، بعضهم seems to describe the ships، كان بعضهم بيوصف السفينه، تمام كده. that the captain and his men had robbed، اللي كابتن والرجاله بتاعته سرقوها of money من الفلوس. then we looked at the other papers، بصينا على الورق الثاني. اند سو اماب، وشفنا الخريطه اوف ان ايلاند للجزيره. وذا بيج كروس، كان في علامه اكس كبيره اون ات عليها نيكست تو ذا ووردز، جنب الكلمات. موست اوف ذا تريجر هير، موجود ان العلامه دي بتدل على اكتر ان اكتر الكنز هنا. دكتور ليفسي وي شود جو تو بريستول تومورو، لازم نروح لبريستول بكره. سيد مستر تريلاوني، مستر تريلاوني اللي قال الكلام ده. ان ا فيو دايز، في عده ايام قليله. وي ويل فايند ذا بيست شيب ان انجلاند، هنلاقي افضل سفينه في انجلترا. جيم هوكنز بيتكلم هير كان كام از اور شيبز بوي، فجيم هوكنز راح جاي مستر تريلاوني قال ان جيم هوكنز ده يقدر ان هو يجي ويبقى يبقى الصبي بتاع السفينه. يو كان بي ذا شيبز دكتور، انت ممكن تبقى الدكتور، وانت يا دكتور ليفسي هتبقى الدكتور بتاع السفينه. فبيقول لك بقى بعد كده اي اجري، انا موافق. سيد ذا دكتور، الدكتور اللي قال but those men who try to find the map will now be looking for us، بس دلوقتي الرجاله الثانيه اللي هم كانوا عايزين يلاقوا الخريطه هيدوروا علينا احنا دلوقتي. من الاخر هم فين؟ في خطر. ما هو القراصنه مش هيسيبوهم، القراصنه عايزين الكنز. we aren't safe anymore، ما بقيناش في امان. we mustn't tell anyone else what we know، اتفقوا ان هم مش هيعرفوا حد على الخريطه والكنز. هنعرفوا الشابتر الجاي زي ما احنا لسه شايفين ان في واحد اسمه كابتن سمولت ده القرصان وهيطلع انضف واحد، وسيلفر التاني ابو رجل ده هيطلع زعيم العصابه. المهم بيقول لك التوك اس لونجر زان، هيطلع رئيس عصابه. اللي ازاي كده اهو، هيطلع ازاي كده. بيقول لك اتلوك، وكلمه ميوتيني معناها التمرد، ده انا كنت جايبها لكم في امتحان الشهر. هيطلع قرصان خاين، ايه المشكله يعني. بيقول لك بقى اتلوك اس لونجر ذان وي ثوت تو بي ريدي، الوقت خد مننا اطول مما توقعنا ان احنا ايه بقى نستعد اننا ايه نغادر انجلترا. مستر تريلاوني كان بيجهز للرحله في بريستول، هيطلعوا من منطقه اسمها بريستول، المينا اسمها بريستول. انا قعدت يا مستر في بيت مستر تريلاوني، تمام كده، والخدام بتاعه كان اسمه ريد روث، كان عنده خدام اسمه ريدروس، اسمه ريدروس ده خدام عند مستر تريلاوني. and spent hours، وقضى ساعات studying the map، كان بيدرس الخريطه ساعات وبيفكر في الكنز، تمام كده، اللي احنا احتمال نلاقوه. في يوم من الايام في خطاب اتبعت لي من مستر تريلاوني كان بيقول ان هو في راجل كويس اسمه بلاندلي، مش عايز اعرف اسمه ما يهمنيش. الراجل ده عنده سفينه، هياخدوا منه السفينه اسمها هيسبانيولا. اسمها ايه؟ يبقى اسم السفينه اسمها هيسبانيولا، اسمها هيسبانيولا. فور اس، لينا. تريلاوني سيد ذات، تريلاوني قال ده. هي هاد فاوند ا كرو، لقى طاقم عمل ريدي تو ورك، بيستعد للعمل اون ات عليها. ذا كرو انكلودد امان، كان اللي جماعه بيقول لك ان طاقم السفينه كان عليه راجل اسمه لونج جون سيلفر. اسمه ايه؟ لونج جون سيلفر، احفظوا الاسم ده لان هو مطول معانا. بيقول لك هو هاد لوست أليج، الراجل ده فقد رجله بس هو كان طباخ كويس، فهم عايزين طباخ على السفينه. بات اولسو نيو انذر مين، ويعرف رجاله تانيه تشتغل معانا على السفينه. ده صاحب تريلوني. فتريلوني قال بقى ايه؟ ان كل شيء everyone was excited، الناس متحمسين بفكره الايه؟ الكنز. فبيقول لك بقى ايه؟ جيم اتصدم، قال له يا عم متحمسين للكنز ايه؟ مش المفروض انا اعتقدت ان وي هاد تو كيب ذا نيوز تريجر اوف ذا تريجر ا سيكريت، مش المفروض ان دي كانت تكون سر ما نعرفوش حد بيه؟ صباح الخير يا ابي. I was very excited، انا كنت متحمس باي ذا صوت بالفكره بتاعت الرحله. and I wanted to say goodbye، روحت لامي اقول لها جود باي في الامبرال بيمبو. انا كنت حزين جدا to leave here، وانا بغادرها تاني يوم. when I traveled to Bristol with ريدروس، لما انا سافرت مع ريدروس. we had just one night، قضينا ليله واحده in the city في المدينه before we were going to sail، قبل ما نذهب للابحار. الناس اللي بتتابعنا اونلاين هيبقى لنا تسميع 321 ل 324. حلو كده؟ قشطه كده، فهمتي اكتر. فاضل الشابتر 3 ان شاء الله هناخدوه بعد ما نخلصوا الوحده الرابعه عشان المنهج ما يمطش مننا. انا عايز اقول لكم ان احنا ايه يعني سيكا كمان وهنبقى متاخرين، لان الوحده الثالثه عايزه مننا الوحده الرابعه عايزه مننا حصتين، عايزه مننا 3 حصص شرح، والوحده الخامسه عايزه مننا حصتين شرح. تمام؟ فلحد هنا في حاجه كانت اتبقت في الوحده الثالثه ما حليناهاش؟ اقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك، نشهد ان لا اله الا انت، نستغفرك ونتوب اليك. كان معكم مستر عمر مكاوي. ان شاء الله اليونت الجاي هنبداوا في جرامر الوحده الرابعه. والسلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.